शोचतामिति अथ नित्यम् अनित्यम् वा नेह शोचन्ति तद्विदः नान्यथा शक्यते कर्तुम् स्वभावः शोचतामिति Therefore, the eternal spirit soul, Anityam, the temporary material body, Va, or Na, not, Iha, in this world, Shochanti, they lament for, Tadvidaha, those who are advanced in knowledge of the body and soul. Those who are advanced in knowledge of the body and soul. Not. Anyatha, otherwise. Shakyate, is able. Kartum, to do. Swabhavaha, the nature. Shochata, of those prone to lamentation. Thus, translation and reply is divine grace. Those who have full knowledge of self-realization, who know very well that the spirit soul is eternal, whereas the body is perishable, are not overwhelmed by lamentation. But persons who lack knowledge of self-realization certainly lament. Therefore, it is difficult to educate a person and induce him. According to Mimamsa philosophers, everything is eternal, nitya, and according to Sankhya philosophers, everything is mithya or anitya, impermanent. Nonetheless, without real knowledge of Atma, the soul, such philosophers must be bewildered and must continue to lament as Shudras. Srila Sukadeva Swami therefore said to Parikshit Maharaj, Srotavyadini Rajendram Ram Santi Sahasrashah Apashyatam Atma Tattvam Rudeshu Grihametinam. Those who are materially engrossed, being blind to knowledge of the ultimate truth, have many subjects of hearing in human society. O Emperor, this is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd chapter, 2nd verse. For ordinary persons engaged in material activities, there are many subjects, matter to understand. But because such persons do not understand self-realization, one must therefore be educated in self-realization so that under any circumstances in life, he will remain steady in his vows. Om Ajnanatirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupadamahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Dita Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavascha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadhutam Parijanasetam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhantascha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Sri Radha Kanta Namaste Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishadhanusate Devi Karmami Shri Haripriye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Atha nityam anityam va neha shochanti tadvidaha nanyatha shakyati kartum svabha swachitati. Those who have full knowledge of self-realization, who know very well that the spiritual is eternal, whereas the body is perishable, are not overwhelmed by lamentation. But persons who lack knowledge of self-realization certainly lament. Therefore, it is difficult to educate a person in illusion. And in the background of this instructions given by Maharaj, which is spoken by Hiranyakashipu at the death of his brother. Even a demon can quote, they say. He's talking of self-realization and seems to be his mentor is Yamaraj, who is a pure devotee. These are the tricks of Lord Shri Krishna, that the demoniac nature is very undistinguishable, from normal behavior. But yet there is only one and one factor that separates them from the demigods or the divine nature. Can you tell what is that factor?
No intention to please Krishna. The demons have no intention to please Krishna, even though they may have knowledge, but it's not meant to satisfy the will.
What is that nature due to?
Enviousness of Krishna.
That's correct. Enviousness. Enviousness is so deep down ingrained that we don't even give much credence to it. Oh, it's ordinary, it's trivial, Such trivialities put us into temporalities. However knowledge we may have, how much self-realization will be there, and yet they will be casted as demons. Enviousness is the only factor. One can reach to the topmost point of self-realization. Arudhya krichena parma padam tata. Patantiyada. They fall down. However, they may think that they have reached to the topmost level of kaivalya. Kaivalya, anybody can interpret. That's one in one substance only, which he may be identifying with himself, non-different from him. That is kaivalya. But it can be an impersonalist also. It can be an impersonalist also. Impersonalists generally want to merge into the eternal existence of Brahma Jyoti by dint of knowledge of self-realization. And they think whimsically that they have reached the topmost level of existence, which is eternal, Brahmaleen. They have merged into the existence of the Absolute Truth. Srimad Bhagavatam denies that. It says, Arudhya krichena parma padam tata padantiyada anadam yushmadandraya. Another means they are so carefully neglecting the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Means the personal aspect is completely obscured from them. So, however, a demon may quote Yamaraj, but he is completely under illusion himself of his reality and real nature. Therefore, even a demon can quote, can give temporary soothing, but it will never satisfy the soul. Yayatma suprasidati can be only be quenched by serving the Supreme Lord or by glorifying Him. Otherwise, this kind of talks are going on and on and on. The whole world is filled with impersonalism. We eventually misbehave with one another, even though we are the greatest of friends. But when it comes to some kind of selfishness, we try to become, impersonal with that part. Everybody has that cheating propensity which is very, very deep down ingrained because of this enviousness. When enviousness is removed, then one can be best situated in the intricate, most confidential knowledge of the absolute truth that is not available even to the impersonalist. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshyami anasuyave jnana vidyana sahitam yat vyapa mokshasya subhat. I am telling you the most confidential knowledge. He already described Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam. It is the king of knowledge, but it is the most confidential. And Prabhupada tells that there are three types of confidentialities. One is confidential, another is more confidential, but the most confidential, guhyatamam. Idam prute guhyatamam pravakshyami anasuyave. So, the category of the most confidential knowledge will be revealed only if one becomes non-envious of the Lord and cultivate that non-enviousness between the fellow devotees. Why the devotees in Sankirtan movement and their association is more important than anything else. Even if we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra at home, if we don't get along with anybody, we say, oh, okay, we can do it at home. What's the big deal? Why it is so much important? The association of the devotees. And we select out the association of the devotees who are confidential, or trying to cultivate some confidentiality in devotional service. Those who are introspective, those who are rather more leaning towards Krishna consciousness than anything else. However, whatever their position, who cares? But this is the fact that because he is interested in the most confidential knowledge of Bhakti, this is Krishna's desire that the jiva becomes his devotee. Because this is the most confidential knowledge. And it is revealed to those who are, to Arjuna, because he was not envious. Then it says, Bhaktosi sakhachiti rahasyam etaduttamam. I am telling you because you are not connected with me as a friend, sakha. Sakha means equal in the age, or those who are, say, equal in age and having some kind of equal mentality. They are called sakhas. So that is a relationship according to the physical nature. So bhaktos, you are devotee, means you are not envious. Therefore I am revealing the most confidential knowledge to you about the devotions. But a demon would not be able to go further than so-called self-realization, which many people in different ways can also come. Srila Prabhupada quotes about basically two types, that Sankhya philosophers and Mimamsa philosophers. Karma Mimamsa was introduced by Jaimini. He was the student of Vyasadeva. And Sankhya by Kapildev. Right? Now, Jaimini is an impersonalist. Jaimini is an impersonalist. Vyasadeva, even though he is the incarnation of the Son, but as far as knowledge is concerned, Jaimini, she was only dealing with the karmic aspect, with the physical aspects, not devotional aspect. So Karma Mimamsa was written by him. And the karma means impetus to indulge in the activity of the working of the nature is called karma. To indulge one's desire. Otherwise, material nature is acting under the superintendence of Lord Shri Krishna. Maya takshena prakriti suyate sacharachara. Hetunanena kaunte jagat viparivartate. Krishna takes all the claim that without me being the cause, there is no other cause for why this material nature acting in this way. So material nature, Krishna's energy manifested, and it works right before our eyes. There is no end of with due to the ignorance of reality that we think we are the doers. Prakriti kriyamani guni karmani sarvasha ahankara vimudhatma kartanam iti manyate. Jaimini Rishi does not tell us about that our ahankara, what is our ahankara development. He talks directly about the action reactions in complicated ways. So, even by the Karma Mimamsa, one can come, to a conclusion of so-called self-realization. And Sankhya philosophy, where analytical study of the material nature by analysis means to break down. To break down the elements and elemental aspect and how they act. That is called Sankhya philosophy. They separate out the Atma Tattva and the material Tattva. So, both are acknowledged by demons because they deal with material nature. One analytically, another on the action and reaction basis. So, Karma Mimamsa and Sankhya, they have their different opinion coming to that. One says, the Mimamsa, they say that everything is eternal. Everything, because as the action is there, opposite reaction is there. And there is nothing in between. As a residual thing, nothing between. The energy preservation law, what they call it in physics, energy can neither be created nor can be destroyed. It simply can be transformed. So whatever is there is self-maintained. That is one of the nature of the Prakriti or nature. But the element of Atma Tattva will be obscured for those who are Karma-mimamsa. Therefore, the impersonalist and the mithya means negationist. Mithya means completely rejecting. It is not there. You come to the conclusion that it was simply an illusion. The real thing has missed out. That is Atma. So these two people, they think one is the material nature, everything is eternal, nitya, and Sankhya philosophers, for them everything is mithya or anitya or impermanent, because it's changed, transformed. So, the real knowledge of Atma is not revealed there. Only devotees have full access to the intricate part of that. These philosophers are bewildered when they try to, look into the subject matter of Atma Tattva. But they keep on lamenting because they do not know the secret of realization on the basis of Atma, the nature of the Atma. So they keep on continuing to lament as Shudras. So even though we know it by theoretical knowledge, yet we lament. Sometimes it sounds like hypocritic, but the fact is that the lamentation is due to ignorance. So, those who keep on lamenting, say for time being, and others keep on lamenting for a long time. It's only a matter within the time framework of material nature. What's the big deal? One who laments for little, another laments for a longer time. One has a great hope of deliverance very quickly, another would take a long time. So this attachment in lamentation has to be eradicated. But only the devotees know that it is too difficult to remove the attachment, become detached. Rather, transform the attachment, keep the attachment, but change the subject matter. If we want to become detached from material nature and our attachment and hankering is that, rather transform to Krishna conscious activities or Krishna directly. So this attachment is important. So naturally, attachment to the devotees is becoming an important fact, the most important fact. Come hell or high water, just stick to it. The association of the devotees. Never give up the association of the devotees. Actually, when one thinks that he can do the Krishna conscious activity by himself, alone, it's all a time-being situation. Actually, he is gasping for relief, but he doesn't understand because of false ego. So, attachment to the association of the devotees is a positive aspect always, that we may get an opportunity to come in contact with more confidential and most confidential revelations of the Bhakti Tattva. Otherwise, we will become interested in off-line subject matters. And therefore, Srutavyadini Rajendra Ram Santi Shastashu Apashyatama Patatvankare Sugrahinidina. They will create many other subordinary subjects, not the main subject. So, therefore, the religious system can also be proliferating in the aspects of sub-religious principles, not the main. But Srila Prabhupada brought this main principle of pure devotional service. He was not interested into sub-religious principles at all. So he would not even associate with such other religionists. He says it's simply a waste of time. And we see that we should also cultivate that kind of understanding and behavior, that we should associate with the devotees who are advanced and those who want to really help to boost our Krishna consciousness, encourage us and to more and more revelations of Bhakti Tattva. So this is an important subject matter that has been spoken by Hiranyakashipu. Even citation of Yamaraja is a pure devotee. So many a times we feel that everything is all right. Now they are trying to glorify the Ravana Tattva, the demon, by making his series of television. Ravana. And what a glorious pastime, because people need, all these three modes of material nature working. So for the demigod life, they make so many series, right? Now they are running out of subject matter, let's take Ram. But it is still undistinguishable in this film industry. Where is Bhakti Tattva? It is simply a show of superficial situation. Religiosity didn't work to uplift the mankind. So now the demoniac nature is going to be proselytized in this way. Demoniac nature becomes more and more prominent as an example. After all, Ram was not that bad. This is the kind of situation. Never, as if they want to come and conclude that it was destined. Because everything is meant to be destined, but not under your desire. Destination is the Krishna's desire, and he has his plan. But then, if we had the liberty to become envious in the first place, why can't we exercise the non-enviousness to be our desire? So, this is still our indulgence in favor of Krishna. It is voluntary, but it depends upon how much do we understand about this fact. Otherwise, we have to keep on training on so-called sub-religious aspects. So, Sukadeva Swami says, for those matters which are, going to be entangling us more and more into the materialistic, even materialistic piety, materialistic religiosities. When Atma Tattva, Apashyata, Atma Tattva, Graheshu, Grahamedina, they will be all classified into the material, sense gratifiers, Grahamedina, sense gratifiers. A devotee can be only classified on the basis of his non-enviousness to Krishna, and he is disinterested into the sub-religious aspects. And that's what Srila Prabhupada brought it, as International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So this is the main situation that we should always keep it in mind. We can't forget the main purpose. Otherwise, many devotees are looking into saying, oh, there is a paradigm shift. Oh, there is here this idea and that idea. Where does Prabhupada say this? Everything will come in. And it will be subject matter of quibbling for a long, long time and wasting time. Anyway, our main goal here, we can't overlook it, can't give it as a subsidiary or secondary emotion. It's the most primary requirement in the life of a devotee. We can't trade Srila Prabhupada's idea about, with anything else. Yeah.
Maharaj, thank you so much. Very succinct, very clear and pure. Thank you so much for this. Thank you. And one comment and question comment. It's when you said most confidential, first confidential, most confidential, and then what was most confidential. So even Lord Jesus Christ he said, I have so many things to tell you, but you're not ready to hear it. And that was because of the enviousness, I think.
Right. But these are the instructions of Srila Prabhupada, and he puts so much weight on the association of devotees. Sankirtan movement, Sankirtan means not alone. Not alone. Even we become alone or lonely when we acquire some power, position, anything, some kind, a prestige, a kind of subtle situation. We become really lonely by accepting those situations. And we are so much getting engrossed into those things that in case if it is taken away from us, then the real demons are coming up and exposing those. And they are all residing in us. All the thoughts. See, as for example, here, the word which has been used is also very much important. That they keep on talking simply. They express, that give the opinion. Otherwise, how could Hiranyakashipu would give this opinion? he was knowledgeable, and he uses at the time he got an opportunity to explain it to his brother's wife, and then he gives parallel examples, about the Atma Tattva. But he doesn't talk of real discrepancy that is he is having. He will say, okay, everything is alright, I know that Vishnu is the Supreme. But because he took the side of demigods, and for their pleasure he killed my brother, therefore he is my enemy. He came to erroneous conclusion. So, Maya is bewildering at such an extent. Means Maya is ignorance of the reality. So, unless and until we stop enviousness to Lord Krishna and his desire, so corollary to fellow devotees, there's no chance of progress. And Prabhupada would simply request, if you love me, then please try to go. I mean, these are simple words, but they are not superficial. They show the absolute truth in it. And we have to come to appreciate it and exercise it. So this is the whole idea. It's so simple. Sotavyati virajendra naram santi sahasrasha apashyatam atmatattva kreshu grahamidima. Those who are materially engrossed, being blind to the knowledge of the ultimate truth, have many subjects for hearing the human society. O Emperor. So, the devotees are devotees by the virtues of pure devotional service to Lord Krishna. So thank you very much. Any other comments or questions? Yes?
Alright, so Prabhupada concludes the purport with the word vow. He says about keeping the vow. Could you explain that a little bit?
Vow?
Vow?
No, vows.
Vows, yeah.
Yeah, okay. One must therefore be educated in self-realization so that under any circumstances in life he will remain steady in his vows. These vows are to be expressed both in mind, words and action. Our existence in totality is that we are expressing in 3 ways. Manasa vacha karma. Iha yasya hare dasi manasa karmana gira. Nikhilapi avasthasu jivan muktasya uchyate. The real realization means the liberation from all this entanglement will come when, while performing devotional service to the Supreme Lord within mind, through the words and the actions, manasa karmana gira. Nikhilapi avasthasu, as long as we exist, it will be jivanmukta. Liberated in self-same body. Now, these vows that we have been given, we may think, oh, just following four regulative principles and chanting 16, it's not a big deal. But actually it is the big deal. Everything is in there. And how are we expressing it? Within mind, words and activities. So how much truthful to those vows we are within the mind, within the words, and within activities. And these vows, there is a very interesting conversation that's been going on the internet about it. Mahatma Prabhu, stirred up this question. If anybody is on that Palm Hole network. What does it mean to take vows? Why being initiated or but this is the entire commitment, and especially the vows of austerity. We think it is physical austerity only, no mental austerity, not even verbal austerity. We can't talk loose about the vows. Our three regulative principles are good enough, after who is doing that? So anyway, these are the situations that the development of Krishna consciousness must be there. That's why Srila Prabhupada established the society. So, this is a more important thing that we have to always think, contemplate, and live. Swami has said about this one. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu encouraged, stay wherever you are. But Shruti Gatam Tanuvandamanovi. There also he says, Sthane Sthita. Stay wherever you are, in whichever ashram or varna you are in, whatever occupation you are doing. Become not steady or attached. No. Exist. Don't try to give up artificially. Stay wherever you are. But be conversant with the verdict of Shruti Gadam. How? Tanu, Vang, Manovi. Tanu means body, Vang means vacha, and Manovi, by mind. Krishna says that if out of these three, if we are not observing in one, which is contradictory to the other two, then we are hypocrites. Mithyachara sauchyate. For example, in that, I think, third, fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna reveals that to Arjuna. And karma sannyas, Krishna consciousness. It says that those who are artificially rejecting outside but he is contemplating within the mind is a hypocrite. About the sense-gratificatory aspects. It is hankers within the mind. Whatever is in the mind is going to manifest. That's how Brahma also conceived. It manifested from his mind the initial aspect. It's very interesting, and we were this other day reading from 10th canto, 89th chapter. Krishna's glory is being described. And there are beautiful descriptions showing that even Brahma, who was born in darkness of ignorance, when he was enlightened by Krishna, he became enlightened, but he had a shadow because he got the material body. So he got a shadow. He didn't like the shadow. Because the shadow is material ignorance, and the living entities occupy those shadows. And because they got the dense darkness of ignorance, the shadow created a sense of hunger and thirst. Sense of hunger and thirst. And these living entities, out of that ignorance, started calling out, what we need. Sense of hunger and thirst created stomachs. So he said, what do we eat? They didn't say anybody except Brahma. Let's eat him, kill him. These living entities told, kill him. Because they want to eat. So Brahma called them yakshas. And the others say, don't spare him, please kill him. They were called Rakshasas. So Rakshasas were born, yakshas and Rakshasas were born out of that dense darkness of ignorance, the shadow. And these entities are manifested. Brahma had to interfere. He said, I am your father, how could you kill me? I have created you, even though I hate you. So that's how the origin of separation between the demigods and demons, yakshas and rakshasas, they were there. Then Brahma has to meditate more to counteract this. So out of that good meditation and mental conception, he created Narada and Vyasa and others. All the Saptarshis, Chatushkumar, all came subsequently. Through mental conception, whatever is in the mind manifests. And similarly, whatever in our mind is also manifested. And Krishna gives very good serial analogy. Dhyayato Vishayans Punsa Sangastisha Vajayati. By contemplating the objects of sense gratification in the mind, one desires to associate with. Sangastisha Vajayati. Sangat Sanjayate Kama Karma Kruto Vijayati. The same ignorance at different levels, different degrees of ignorance will be searching out into Kama Kruto and more. Krodhata bhavati sammoha. Sammoha smriti vibrama. Whatever knowledge of our previous life about the smriti of the reality again will be enveloped under more ignorance, more demoniac desires. And when they, are overpowering our intelligence, buddhinasha pranashiti, to fall back into the repeated birth. That's the cycle. So these desires are there so solid in Hiranyakashipu. Who can beat him? No mortal man can beat him. So Krishna consciousness can at least reveal it and help us to guide our life and how to beat him.
There's also for meditation on Lord Nrsimhadev.
Yes, that the prayer of Lord Nrsimhadev in Haryashva Loka, Harivarsha Loka, that is saying, Om Namo Bhagavate Nrsimhaya Namaste Tejase Aviravibhav Vajradroshka Karmashayam Randaya Tamakrasakasa Om Swaha Abhayam Atmani Purishtam Om Kshram. Oh my Lord Nrsimhadev, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, who have the nails and teeth just like thunderbolts. Kindly vanquish our demon-like desires through fruitive activity in this material world, so that by your mercy we may become fearless in the struggle for existence in this material world. That's the success. Yeah, great. It sounds music. But that's a fact. That's a fact. Whatever situation we may be facing, they are temporary. But we cannot cast it down as unreal. We must overcome it. And the help of the Lord Nrsimhadev, everything will become auspicious. But this will be able to remove the demons from our own mind. It's a very nice exercise every day. Chant Nrsimha Mantra. Seek for